From Mamma Mia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick.
And I'm Em Burnham.
And today is a long-awaited episode that we know a lot of people have just been dying for over the last couple of weeks. It is our brutally honest review of the show that has taken over the world, Heated Rivalry.
Ooh.
And because this is such an important show with such a huge fandom, we have invited, I'm going to say the leader of the fandom, definitely the person who's been sharing the most content, talking about the most, harassing people to watch it that I've seen out in the world.
Straight up bullying, I would say.
Straight up bullying people to watch it. We've invited Tina Burke on the show, Heated Rivalry fandom representative.
Hi, I'm so excited.
This show has been your life the last few weeks, right?
Yes, it has consumed me. I'm like Mr. Darcy when he's like, you bewitch me body and soul. Like, that's me to this show. I love it so much. It's crazy. I was at Christmas and everyone's like, how are you? And I'm like, great. Have you seen the gay hockey show?
Yeah, and to be honest, I would roast you over that, but I feel like for a lot of people, that was their summer holidays.
This show had me texting my friends things like, love could be real. Maybe men can be beautiful. I don't know.
Only when they're with each other, not with us.
With each other. But yeah, loved it so much. I still love it. I'll rewatch it till the day I die.
Oh, I love that. Well, we are getting a season 2, which is very exciting. So this is a show we talked about across 2 weekend watches.
Oh my God, yes.
Unheard of.
I forgot we did that.
Unheard of for us. So usually it's like with weekend watches, one and done.
Yeah.
But I talked about it when it first came out because I was obsessed when I first watched the first screener. I was like, this is incredible. It's coming out next week. I have to talk about it.
And then I took your recommendation to heart, so I watched it after that. And I immediately became obsessed and I had to mention it again.
You're like, we're going again on Weekend Watch. We're going again with a recommendation.
Take it back.
But it had that effect. What can you do?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm assuming everyone's watched it since we did recommend it twice. But obviously, with a brutally honest review, it is our episode. This is our first one of the year. Very excited. We did bump Emily in Paris. She'll hang around till next week. That's fine. We
established she's got a lifelong visa. So
she's going to be there forever. So we're like, this was a burning moment in time that we had to talk about. So with our brutally honest reviews, we do talk about every inch of every episode, including the finale. So there will be spoilers. So just everyone be aware of that. But of course, Heated Rivalry, I'm assuming everyone here has watched it. Otherwise, what the hell are you doing with your life?
Pause the episode. Get 6 hours of your life and go watch it.
Yeah, and a very enjoyable 6 hours. It is. I love how everyone. Its proper title is A Canadian Sports Romance.
Love that.
The way they're calling it. I'm like, more of those, please.
Yeah.
Sports
romance.
Written
light on the sport, though.
Yeah. Just the way we like all of our TV shows. I love a sports movie or TV show as long as the sports is just like a backdrop.
Yeah. The sports sets the scene and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
As long as the men look sporty.
It's more of a suggestion in the background. I don't have to see anything. It is created, written and directed by Jacob Tierney, which I think is important to say just because, I feel like a lot of people are talking about the books, which are obviously so important because they're based on Rachel Reed's Game Changer novels. Heated Rivalry is the second book in that series, but obviously Jacob was also the mastermind that took this and made it into this sensation that we see on screen based on Rachel's sexy books. So who would like to tell us what the show is about?
You know it's not going to be me.
I was going to say,
why would you even lead it like that?
I know.
The spill is, I know, it would just be like, not Em.
Don't let anyone say it.
Anyone else.
I know, because I'm sure if I asked you, you'd be like, there's men and they kiss and it's nice and then there's a cottage. Is that how you would describe it?
Yeah. Literally, I have no other notes to say.
Maybe I'll just carry on.
Would you like me to?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still reeling from when I had to listen to you guys listen to me talk about Zootopia 2.
That was the best day of 2025, other than when I watched Heated Rivalry.
Still a plot that you could not explain. All right, Tina Burke.
Okay, so it is a gay hockey romance, and it follows 2 central characters, the first being Ilya Rozanov, who is played by Connor Story. He's like a Russian hockey prodigy, known for being a bit
Dark and mysterious.
Yeah.
And a real ladies' man.
A real ladies' man. Who's he? He's hot. Everyone's talking about him.
He's hot and angry.
Yeah. Love that. Exactly true. And then we've got Shane Hollander, who is played by Hudson Williams, and he is Canadian, and he's the opposite. He's like the boy next door. He's baby girl. Everyone's like, oh, this promising young stand-up Canadian citizen. That's how he's described. So they both do their rookie season, and then they both get drafted to what is the fictionalized version of the NHL. And so Ilya plays for the Boston Raiders, fake team. And then Shane plays for the Montreal Metros, also fake team. And
I did think they were real.
Yeah, they made it look so real.
Their outfits,
the real teams.
No, their outfits are like the same as the real team.
Okay.
And they've just changed the names.
Fair.
For like, I guess, legal reasons or whatever. But then in the midst of their rookie season and then getting like drafted into the real hockey league, they also strike up a romance. But
Yes,
it's a covert romance. It's a secret romance. And it's kind of like begins with a, do we like each other? What's going on here, you know? Bit of a Challengers-esque, like flirty little
that
vibe.
first scene of them in the gym together.
Yeah.
And then they're just sitting opposite each other with their legs apart.
It's a lot of eye contact.
Yeah, I'm like,
the tension is
what?
quite a lot. Even though obviously
Yeah.
going into it, you know what's going to happen, but
Yeah.
it's the tension build up, and they are kind of like not enemies, but like they don't like each other at the start.
Yeah, and
They're not meant to like
They're not
each
meant
other.
to.
Yeah.
And
They're not
placed as
meant to, but you
enemies,
can also
yeah.
tell that they don't. They also kind of think like Ilya thinks that Shane is, I wanted to call him Hollander.
Hollander. Shane Hollander.
Thinks that Shane is a bit like of a kind of, what does he call him, like a slow player, all these kind of, all that sports talk that I didn't
Yeah.
get.
And like a goody two shoes.
Yeah,
Goody
like, like not
two-shoes.
worth his time, and he thinks
Yeah.
Ilya's a jerk. Also fair.
Also fair.
And so it kind of
And
takes
also
a
true.
while. Yeah. All true things.
Yeah, and at first it kind of kicks off with, like, oh, I think these two, like, have a heated rivalry of sorts. Oh, they don't really like each other. And then slowly it's like, oh, no, wait. I think this is actually just a crush disguised as you guys not liking each
So
other.
what did we think of their first kind of, the first time that we know that is leading into their first hookup of the shower scene?
Dare I say we know before
And just
that
like
scene.
went vacant and looked away. Were you picturing it?
Yeah, I had to imagine it.
Because it was a bit like I a lot of my, even the sexy shows I watch on movies, like it's a bit more of a build up, and especially because it's 6 episodes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know, because I haven't read the book, I have to say that, but I really want to now. I hear such good things about it now. I'm just like, I just want to read all those books. I was kind of thinking there might be more of a build up to it, and they might hook up at the end of the first episode, but there might be, I was expecting a lot more back and forth between them before we went to the shower scene. I'm not complaining.
I think because the show obviously charts like almost like a decade of a situationship.
Yeah.
Jacob spoke
Imagine
about
being
this.
in a situationship for a decade.
Crazy.
It's a lot.
Couldn't pay me.
But also,
worst
you
nightmare.
have to be covert. They have to be.
They
It's
have
not
to
like
be,
They
from
don't
their
have that normal
circumstance,
thing
yeah.
of
They
having
took
to...
inspiration from Mindy Kaling and BJ Novak. That's what they did.
I love you drawing a direct line from that. It's like, Mindy Kaling, have you watched Heated Rivalry? Any thoughts?
Any thoughts to share,
Will
Mindy?
you call BJ out onto the ice
Was
one
this your
day?
IP?
I think what Jacob has kind of said, he said it on the Evan Ross Katz's podcast, was like, yes, obviously things are happening in between, so there's yearning and there's whatever, but he only wanted to show you when they're interacting and when they're on screen.
Yeah.
But it does mean that suddenly we've like had a couple hockey games. We had a photo shoot where it was clear, and Ilya made it clear that he wanted to be paired with Shane, and that was that first little hint. And then suddenly we're in the shower and we're like, oh,
this is happening.
oh, okay. So it was pretty steamy, pretty first up, and I was like, great, this is setting the tone for the series. Cool.
Exactly.
I'm into it.
Exactly. And also you have in that moment, like it does kind of feel like just sex in that moment. Like you don't get the idea that it's going to be much more. And so you do then, what you're waiting for then is it's not that, like, you know, usually in a show like this, the build up would be like, when are they going to have sex? When are they going to have sex? Because we get through that so quickly, then the build up is, well, for
When
me
are we
at
gonna
least, I'm
fall
like,
in love?
when are they going to fall in love? What are they going to fall in? And when are they going to know they're in love? So then we have the build up. And so then we have a few different time jumps. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first episode sort of just takes us through that like first year-ish of that time. And then episode 2 really does like it's 2011, 12, 13, 14. And they like take us through again, because it's like, okay, they've been hooking up. It's been casual. Like you said, the actual point of this show is, when does this become like a romance? When do they fall in love? The thing I do love about all the time jumps though is that like Shane has his boundaries and like his things that he's not ready to do yet. And Ilya's like a little consent king who's always like, is this okay? Is this too much for you? And he's always like taking him through. He's showing him the ropes of like what it's like to be in one of these relationships.
The time jumps were so wild to me. Like, I don't think I've watched a TV show or movie that had so many massive time jumps.
Yeah.
And I remember I was watching the first or maybe the second episode while I was eating dinner. And there was one point where I went to take a mat full of food, and then a time jump happened, and then I looked back up and I was so confused.
You're like, wait, it's happening. Like they're years in the future.
I'm like, now we're at the Olympics? What?
But I found like that really interesting, because I think that is what's so true with these very specific situationships. Like you're going through it for so long, but every time you see each other, it feels like no time has passed at all.
Yeah. And Jacob said that it was like he just wanted it to be like, these are two people who are hooking up. It's not as emotive yet. So yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we're having fun. We're sending a sext in the middle of a game, but like it's not yet at that real dramatic emotional stage.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a bit traumatizing for anyone who's been in a situationship.
Yeah.
I got a little bit stressed, I got to be honest.
Yeah, you're like, where is this going? I have more questions. Why aren't they talking about it?
Yeah.
PTSD.
But that whole thing of like the reason they don't want to come out is both, I guess, to their families, and there's a lot of like resistance there. Also with the league and like the sportsmen, I don't know about that, but I will say that they do talk about the fact that it could ruin their like careers. It could ruin this thing they've been training for their whole lives, this elite sportsmanship, could lose all of their brand deals, throw them off. So there's this huge, so it does feel very high when they're creeping around. It does feel very high stakes.
Yeah.
Like anytime they were slipping into each other's hotel rooms or like meeting, even at one stage when they talked on the ice, I was like, shut up, you're gonna get found out.
Yeah. And like you said, it's not a situationship because they're just like, we don't care about each other. It's very different, like, and it gets mentioned obviously, but like not just Ilya's family and the fact that his dad and his brother are in the police, and it's also illegal in Russia.
Yeah.
And it's also the timing of when this show is set from like 2008 onwards. Like it's not exactly a time when there were out gay players. I actually don't know if there are any out NHL players currently who are like active.
I don't believe so. I mean, I haven't fully looked into it, but every podcast I've heard like really dissecting this, and people know, and we do know that's still a big thing
in sport in general.
Sport, especially that there's this real kind of extra level of fear for players not being able to come out, not feeling, and even like, I mean, we'll obviously get to some later ones, but even when Scott talks about like what I would hear in the locker rooms and stuff versus the person I am, so I think there's a real kind of danger for them of coming out both publicly but also professionally in like their inner circle. So like the stakes feel so high from the beginning.
Yeah, and it's shown in those first 2 episodes in the way that like Ilya's brother speaks to him, and in the insults that some of like the team lobby about other players, they're using homophobic language. Yeah. And so it is very much setting the scene of like, yes, this is the mood in which their like illicit affair is taking place.
Yes. So
obviously not only are they both like concerned about the fact that they're friends and family or whatever, but it's their positions in this sport that they love and that is their whole livelihood.
And at first to them it is just a hookup. So they're not going to like kind of turn their lives upside down. But obviously as they start to fall in love, things get more tense. Do we have some favorite like moments in those first few episodes where we are going through those time jumps and those moments of them falling in love? What stands out to you guys?
One of my favorites in episode 2 was the bathroom scene, because I think it was the moment when you saw that bit more emotion creeping in. Yeah. So that's after we've done the like 2011, 2014 time jump, and it's when we're at the awards show and the boys both are like on stage presenting, but they haven't seen each other or hooked up in a little while.
I love that scene.
And then they go to the bathroom and like, one, it's just like, again, it's so good of how they do these like show don't tell things, but like Shane checks under the stalls of the bathroom before they have the conversation to see if anyone is in there. And like Ilya comes in thinking that like this is just going to be a little flirty exchange, and Shane gets upset and starts crying. And it really speaks to that whole thing that a lot of the fans are saying of like Ilya fell first and fell harder, because the moment he sees like Shane upset with a tear in his eye, he's like, oh, I'll fix it. Like, we'll hang out. Aww. It's not what he says, but it's the subtext. And then he's kind of like, oh no, like we can be together. And then they joke about like his dad reading the New Yorker and like his accent like going and his English language getting better. And like it just shows that they care more about each other a little bit more than they've been letting on. But what's really heartbreaking is that scene's followed by like another steamy sex scene and Shane leaving and almost sending that "we didn't even kiss" text message. That broke my little heart. Oh, because it's that vulnerability that has been missing from their relationship, and also like that thing they're both like slowly putting out there of like, I like you a little bit more than I want to let on.
And when I feel like every woman felt that text.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Felt that deep in my soul.
Yeah.
It was so upsetting.
Which was really interesting, because I feel like before that, like one of my favorite scenes was when you can kind of see Ilya realizing he's into Shane more, was when they were texting. I think they were playing in different states still, but they were texting each other before a game, and Ilya like sent a sext to Shane, and like the 3 dots came up and he was staring at his phone, and then they disappeared, and you could see him going like, oh my God, like I pushed this too far. And then he eventually replied, and you can see him like smile and then put his phone away, and I'm like, oh, you're in it now.
He's really in it. Yeah. And I think they do such a good job of showing that after the time jump, which is also why it felt necessary, because you just like, that was the hookup phase, and then this is where they start to care more. Because that one scene as well, when they've sort of for the first time had penetrative sex, and then that's a steamy scene. That's a lovely scene. But the one everyone's hanging on to is afterwards in the stairwell, Ilya kisses Shane goodbye. And it's like this really tender moment, and it's just so sweet and wholesome and shows, again, Ilya's catching feelings. Yeah. And, like, that's what we wanted. We wanted to see it. And it leaves you on, like, this bit of a cliffhanger of, like, are these guys falling for each other a little more than they're letting on?
And what do we think of the casting of our two leads, Ilya and Shane? Because as we were saying in this morning's episode of Weekend Watch, talking about rom-coms, and not this is a rom-com, but it's more of a romantic drama, but so much hinges on those two leads, on their chemistry. And I know that the book fans were so intense about who they wanted in these roles because there was such a fandom around them and such a kind of like love for these two characters. And I feel like people have been really, even the book girls have been really happy with the casting, yeah?
Yeah. I think, like, Ilya's Russian accent is just crazy.
What the heck?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe he wasn't Russian.
I know.
When he did his
every time I hear him talk in interviews, I'm like, who is that man?
He's got like a southern twang.
Freaks me out.
And his personality
really
in real life is so bubbly. Yeah. It's like so starkly different.
I just want him to be his character all the time.
Hollander.
I don't like it.
But I love his real personality so much. But like he said, not for the sake of method acting, but for the sake of trying to get into it in such a short amount of time, he said he, like, as soon as he got to set every day, he would speak in a Russian accent to everyone.
I believe you'd have to do that because if you were going in and out of it too hard, you have to stay in it. We're not going to call that method acting. We'll give that a pass.
Whatever. None of our business. But he did it because he was just like, yeah, you need to get into it. And he said he thinks that that's why people are scared of accents too, because they just start doing one and it doesn't feel natural. He was like, you do have to keep going along with it. And like outside of that, I just love them both. I think they've done a great job. And Connor said that Hudson is like one of his soulmates. Not romantically. He was like, I think there's people put on this earth who are like your soulmates and your soul family. And
like Mindy and Becky.
Mindy
Mindy Kaling is so close to sending you a cease and desist.
But yeah, it was soup snakes. So lovely. What did you think of them?
Oh my God, I love them. No one say anything mean about my boys.
My boys. That's how I feel like they're protective mama.
Yeah.
Which is so creepy.
A protective thing around them at the moment of that people have really closed around. Especially because like this has taken over the world in such a huge way. Everyone's talking about it. The ratings are huge. The critical acclaim. It's coming back for season 2. They're presenting at the Globes. They're going to be presenting at more things. Like they are the boys of the moment. Yeah. But it's interesting to think that it did start off as just like a sort of small Canadian romance.
Yeah.
And then people are like, I wonder what the Stranger Things cast think of like this small Canadian show, like almost overtaking them in a way in terms of like talkability and TikTok trends.
Because it was like
everything.
It had such a low budget. And these guys have only like this is the first major roles they played, not even knowing it was going to be a major role for them. And now they're about to do like their first late night talk shows and stuff. And I'm like, I just want them to be happy and I don't want anyone to taint them.
It's a lot. And like there was all this footage of Hudson arriving at Jimmy Fallon today and like hundreds of people had waited all day long in lines to catch a glimpse of him. And a bunch of the tweets I saw were like, he's such a Leo rising because he's grinning from ear to ear. He's so happy with like just the situation he's in, having been literally waiting tables when he got cast. But you do worry.
Yeah, he was waiting tables.
They both were,
cast.
yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. And like you worry for them and their co-stars have worried for them who have more experience because they went from both having like a few thousand followers on Instagram to now being above 1 million to, like you said, all of this big stuff, but also being the talk of Hollywood. Like they were joked about in the Critics' Choice monologue. They're going to host at the Golden Globes. Every red carpet, celebrities who have nothing to do with this show are getting asked about it. Like that's a level of fame that you rarely see that growth that quickly. Yeah. Like I'm like, who has had that recently? Like maybe like Chappell Roan's rise, maybe the Bridgerton cast in like 2020, but you don't see it that quick.
Reminds me of Justin Bieber when that happened. And then that girl stole his hat and that became a whole thing.
And it's got like a One Direction level of fan fever.
Like it feels like that.
Wild. And I'm part of it, but like I'm worried about the problematic.
The
but I do worry for them on the side of people who have like started digging into their personal lives. It's like leave it. Can we just love the show and leave it?
Yeah, I didn't love that when people started like doxing like their relationships and people they've been with in the past and all that sort of stuff. And like
they get doxed. That's crazy.
Yeah,
to an extent. Yeah, well, Dumas kind of led the charge on that one.
Yeah.
Which brings us to a very important episode that we're going to talk about. Episode 3, Hunter.
Oh my God.
Look, the thing is I love every episode, but this was such an incredible
This was cinema. This could have been a movie.
This could have been a movie.
A short film And I think it deserves an Emmy.
With a bottle episode, which is an episode like this where it has, I mean, I know they obviously pop up later and have a moment later in the show, but a bottle episode where you have a whole character storyline, a beginning, middle, and end in one episode is really hard to pull off because you don't have that slow burn. You have to accelerate the story. But this was done so perfectly, right? It felt like a short film.
Yeah.
It did. Yeah.
It was my favorite episode in the whole season.
So many people have it as their favorite. Like,
and I
it was
love
amazing.
him because I loved him in Schitt's Creek.
Yeah,
he was so
great.
funny.
Yeah.
And like their love story is like an M. Hen book. Like you would read. It feels like something you would read.
Chemistry off the chart. So the episode we're talking about, episode
don't
3,
let me explain
Hunter. We have Scott Hunter, who's in a bit of a difficult position with his career. And
he's like an older hockey player.
Yeah,
and by old I mean like 30s.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's over for that old man.
They're like, he's 100,000 years old.
Ilya's messaging like he's so old.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, he's
Can't
not.
believe he's still going.
So he takes a little detour in a smoothie shop where he meets Kip, and there is an instant attraction and flirtation between a star hockey player and a smoothie maker, and him coming back in to like kind of keep ordering the same smoothie, the flirtation. And then the night they finally go back to Scott's place and hook up for the first time. So freaking romantic. I can't even deal with it.
So beautiful. Also, what I found really funny is that every man in the series has to have a six-pack. Like, why? What purpose does Kip need a six-pack?
Well, for us, the viewer, I loved that. Don't take his six-pack away from me.
He's beautiful, but I was just like not expecting.
Like, okay, guy in smoothie shop, sure.
And what is so sweet is that there's at the beginning there's like a little bit of an power imbalance between them, obviously, because Scott's this huge star and Kip is like waiting to get back into school and all these things. And I love that moment where after they hooked up for the first time, and Kip's like kind of almost like, I know my place, I'm getting dressed, I'm going home in the middle of the night, and Scott wakes up and is like so desperate for him to stay and be there when he wakes up in the morning, and that's the first, it kind of sets the tone for where their relationship is going to go.
Yeah. And there's also like a bit of vulnerability too in like, I mean, I was also flabbergasted. It was very M-hen to like bring him over, take all your clothes off and be like, do you want the tour or do you want to go hook up? Yeah. But like, he was also still a bit vulnerable in like testing the waters of like, would you be into me? What's the sitch? Yeah. But then once he had it under his mind that it was right.
And he like picks him up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Em just wants to sit here and now go through her favourite scene.
Yeah.
Like line by line.
Every scene with Scott Hunter.
Then he picks him up, then they kiss
and then they kiss.
Then he makes him pasta salad. It's just the whole thing.
But it does speak to the power of a crush because he gets one smoothie and like a little wink to a dude, and then he gets a hat trick and he has to keep going back because he's got a crush and he's like, suddenly I'm the best player in the league.
Yeah.
And it's so different to the slow burn that we're seeing with our other two main characters, whereas theirs was very much love at first sight.
Yeah.
Like they both fell for each other so quickly, so intensely, and then it's only after they've like established that they love each other and they want to be together, that's when you see the rifts in their relationship, because Scott is obviously a hockey player and he's like, I can't come out, I've never come out, and Kip is out and he's like at his birthday party by himself and he wants to do all these things with his boyfriend and his boyfriend can't do it. And the scene that like I think nearly broke me was the art gallery scene.
Because he's so like, Kip
and
is like,
Scott
are you
wants
sure
to try
you want to
really
do
so
this?
bad. Like it's all he wanted was to be able to like go do something with him.
And he has like a full anxiety attack.
Which is understandable, not just because of who he is and the pressure that any sports person would feel in that situation, especially as he, like when he's giving that speech later on, he talks about, as we were saying before, like the pressure that he felt of knowing that people in his league were making like homophobic slurs and things, but also the fact that he was orphaned quite young, and that team and that sport is his family and his whole community. So it's also that added pressure on him of like, if I come out, will I be giving up the only kind of family and community I have?
And it's contrasted so well with the fact that like Kip's dad is such a sweetheart and is so supportive and like just like loves and hugs his son all the time and is so proud of him. And then
he's like, when are you coming home?
Yeah. And then he's like out and happy and he's like, you got a boyfriend? Like, and then that's not the experience Scott's having on the other side. Like, you'd be terrified. It'd be so scary.
Just skip ahead to the moment on the ice. I think that might be my favorite romantic moment from TV or film for like the last 5 years or so. Yeah. I can't think of anything else that would top that.
I think it is the buzziest scene of any TV show in 2025, let alone maybe the decade.
Yeah.
Like, I was just crying and then immediately had to rewatch it.
I cried too.
Yeah.
I did too.
Of course we did. It's beautiful.
I was like, I stood up. I needed to do something, but I didn't know what to do because they're on TV and they're not real. So I just stood up.
You were like Shane Hollander's dad. You were like, I'm up. I'm watching.
I just needed to be supportive in some way.
Jackson Parrell, the cinematographer, he came up with obviously that scene with Jacob Tierney with the showrunner, and like the panning shots of the reactions of Shane, of Ilya to what was happening were just so like intense as that music was building, as everyone kind of started to understand what was going on. And it was just such a like bold and beautiful declaration of love. And then that goddamn song, like the song's lyrics are like, I need sunshine, which is what Kip's friend had been saying.
Oh, yeah.
Like at the ball.
He's sunshine.
Like he's sunshine and you both deserve sunshine. Yeah. Like it was just the perfect mix of like the song, the acting, the buzz, the shots. Like
it was so good. And like this... Because also the fact of with his hockey career, like his team won the championship. Yeah. And he was like the team captain, and he was like the old crone that was a team captain.
And all their wives and kids are coming out.
And they were like, we can't believe he did it. And he's the only one who's by himself on the ice. And all of his friends are surrounded by their children and their wives and their parents. And then he just looked
and he just looked up. And just knowing, not even being like, oh,
I've got goosebumps.
But also not just thinking like I'm alone, but thinking like there's only one person I want to share this with, and
they're
there.
right there.
And it's such a old school sports or TV movie cliche. You know, like big sports movies where you have the big kiss at the end, or TV shows like famously in like One Tree Hill, one of the few sports shows I've watched, when they finally win the championship is when Lucas and Peyton really get together and kiss for the first time, because it's that whole heightened moment of success and victory and who do I want standing by my side. And so it felt like the moment where they should come together.
And even then, like instead of it just being like both of them like running to each other, like you still see Kip like there's no way he's asking me to come. Like, and then his friend literally has to push him.
Yeah. And his dad's like, go.
Yeah. And he's
like,
just
come
like,
on,
me?
Come on.
Me?
And he's like, yeah.
I loved
the
little
yes,
like,
you, Kip.
You, Kip.
There's no one else.
There's no one else. It's just you. It was so beautiful. And I did love the commentators going, who's he waving down? Is it a fan? Lucky day for that fan.
What a lucky day for that fan.
And honestly, those commentators all throughout like other episodes that we'll go back to talk about, but like they'd be like Shane and Ilya practically kissing on the ice, and they're like, oh, those two chums.
Yeah.
It just speaks to how straight hockey is.
That I think that is what kind of does save them a lot of keeping the secret, is no one would ever suspect, because it's just not even on anyone's mind that would happen.
Yeah. And then just watching Shane and Ilya staring at the TV as that's happening.
Yeah.
And then Ilya immediately calling him.
I'm coming to the cottage.
I'll come to the cottage.
Well, again, it's this huge pivotal moment for our two main characters, because all of a sudden this thing they never thought was possible is being done at this huge moment where like a championship's been won. It's this huge respected player calling his love out onto the ice, and having that, like, not just him coming out, but him coming out at such a heightened moment, important moment for the sport, and both of them knowing that that could be possible for them one day, or at least wanting that, like Ilya saying like, I'll come to the cottage is very much like,
this could be us one day.
Yeah, like
maybe.
a surge of like, we could have that.
Yeah, especially like at that point in time, which we'll talk about when we talk about that episode. But
Scott and Kip, are they going to be in season 2? Do we know?
Yeah, because all of the characters in the book sort of stick around and intertwine and things like that. And I mean, there's been such a big reaction to Scott and Kip that everyone's loving. So sure, I
want a whole spin-off show of them. Like that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Well, they were the first book.
They were the first book, and that's why it was so important to give them
that whole TV show. Then,
right? I mean, Jacob can do it.
Jacob, what are you doing with your time?
Jacob, up to it. But I did love the concept of Shane's parents watching that and being, I mean, I'm sure everyone in hockey, it was like the whole country was invested in that scene. But Shane's parents were watching and kind of had that vibe of looking over at him a bit. And that was interesting. And we'll talk about that later. But also the fact that Scott had sort of hinted that he knew multiple times that Shane and Ilya were hooking up.
Yeah.
Like the first time we meet Scott in his episode, it's like right after a little bit of banter and talking about the hotel room between Shane and Ilya. And then Shane leans back and Scott's like, so what are you guys talking about?
Yeah.
And like he jokes on the ice, or like when they're angry, him and Shane having a bit of a feud, he's like, oh, you're starting to sound like your boy.
Yeah. And then he gets bashed up.
And he gets bashed up. And they have a little fight. But he's being kind of clear that he thinks he knows what's going on there. And so also the idea that Ilya and Shane are seeing this happen and realizing that like maybe he's just like them is also probably really like interesting and formative to them.
The way
to
they're
be like,
texting and stuff.
Yeah.
And you could even see it in the beginning of the Scott episode. It's like flashbacks to the second episode through Scott's eyes.
Yeah.
And like how he's reacting to everything that's happening, which was done so well. I love him so much.
I love him so much. He's so beautiful.
He's so hot.
And he is just really rounding out that trio on the press tour. Like,
yeah. It's
gorgeous, gorgeous man saying the funniest shit you've ever heard.
Exactly. That's all we want from a press tour, really.
Yeah.
So back to our two main lads, Shane and Ilya. Obviously.
Firstly, can we talk about the real estate in the show?
Oh, okay. Oh, sure. That's what you want to talk about?
Shane Hollander, Mr. Real Estate.
Yeah. And I'm like, thank God, because I want to see more of this house.
Yeah, it was like, he's like, oh, I know, I built the cottage.
If you guys could please have sex in every room, just so I can see what it's like, that would be great. Even their penthouses, I'm like, this is amazing.
Are sick,
and these are like young boys.
Yeah, but that is what sports players are when they're, because that's the most successful and rich they'll ever be in those like years.
Yeah.
So that's when they're really splashing their money out.
Oh God.
And also that is like a good, like a beautiful thing from like romances of yore, where you have against like those splashy backgrounds and stuff like that.
And Kip's like acting at the audience, where he goes to Scott's like mansion of an apartment and he's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Oh, hooking up with an athlete. What a dream. So then we kind of go back. We had that beautiful bottle episode. Then we delve back into Ilya and Shane, and again, many time jumps. So now they've been in this situationship for many, many years. But as they become more successful, things are becoming more complex, yeah?
Yeah. And obviously episode 4 spends like a decent amount of time on that day where they hang out and have tuna melts.
That's like my dream date.
So good. Just like watch a bit of TV.
Did you make
have
a tuna melt
tea
afterwards?
Yeah.
We should have had them in the studio today.
I love tuna melts.
But I think that like
you've got some weird takeaways from this show.
Love
Real estate
tuna melts.
and tuna melts.
Love penthouses.
Important things.
Cottage houses also good.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah. But like Ilya has his ginger ale there for him.
Yeah.
Like he encourages him to stay and they like sleep in the same bed and it's a bit more intimate.
Yeah.
And then they obviously like have a little sexual moment where they're like, oh wait, we're catching feelings. And so like they do spend a decent chunk of time in that episode on just like that like day that they spend together. And one of the things I found interesting was like how they both, I don't know, it's just classic miscommunication in rom-coms, right? Like Ilya's there like, oh, Svetlana's okay, she's fine, but like, I don't know, I guess I'll find someone else. And then Shane's just pissed that he's mentioning a girl, not reading between the lines of like, no, he's talking about you. Obviously.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just obviously that classic tension. We needed a third act tension breakup and we kind of got it.
We got it also a bit with the introduction of Rose.
Yes.
Movie star extraordinaire.
And I love that she was just Jennifer Lawrence. Like she was playing like the X-Men character and like that was just her whole thing. It was fictional Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, it was fictional Jennifer
That's
Lawrence,
so
wasn't
funny.
it? Yeah, because Jennifer Lawrence also has that kind of just like straight talking but also really understanding kind of like
lovely,
dream
funny
girl who could both be like your lover or your best friend if you needed a secret confidant kind of thing. So yeah. The highest compliment, if I was Jennifer Lawrence right now, I'd be like, that's meant to be me. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because she's a great character.
She would love it too. You just know J-Law's having the best time.
You just know
watching
she's
that.
watching it.
Yeah.
And it was just so like, I think it's so telling in those like first relationship, like when you really catch feelings for something for someone, because Shane was obviously pissed at Ilya and he was like, I'm leaving.
And I don't know how to handle it, so I'm going.
And he was like, and you have a girlfriend, so I'm going to get a girlfriend.
Yeah,
and you're going to see us everywhere.
And mine's going to be a famous actress, so we're going to be everywhere.
Yeah. I do think it was his insecurity coming through in remembering that like Ilya's bisexual and has options that are both men and women, and him going, right, well, I guess I'm going to go out there and see what's up because you clearly don't like me that much. And it's like, he's showing you he likes you. You do
like,
first.
Shane, sit down. Eat your tuna melt.
Pay attention. But we did out of it get another incredibly buzzy scene in the club. Arguably one of the other buzziest scenes of the year.
That scene where he like comes to, wait, I'm about to explain it. Someone else.
So glad you're on a TV pod.
Yes. But when they go to the club after the recognition, first of all, I loved the way that Ilya found out with his teammates all being like, yeah, as you said, if you're going to date a famous actress, there's like the pap shots and he gets to see it and his reaction is like, no. And then he backtracks it to like, oh, okay. Whoopsies. And then when they go to the club, like one of the things I love that fans pointed out was like Ilya realizes because he sees Rose's friend at the bar. Like he's clearly been stalking them so much that he knows who Rose's friend is, sees him and goes, shit, Rose must be here. That must mean Shane's here. And
he knows before he sees him.
He knows before
like,
he sees.
He knows he's behind him
he's
before
like,
he sees him.
saw that guy. He's obviously here. And then the perfect song plays at the perfect time. All the things she said. And the lighting, it is stunning. That slow turn as like the music picked up to seeing them, I was like, oh my God.
And the significance of that song, right?
Yes.
I remember that being such a huge thing when that song came out with the band Tattoo and the two girls, because everyone was like, oh my God, they're lesbians. And it was a huge buzzy thing because there just wasn't any like same-sex music duos like that were like in the mainstream. And I'm talking decade. I think it might have even been in primary school when it came out, or like grade 8 or something, like so young, where it was this like crazy
it's a banger song.
thing. It's a banger song.
And it kind of had that impact like Robin's like Dancing on My Own. Like that level of like, oh my God, this is a gay song.
Yeah, and just people just like losing their minds over the video clip with the two women and everything. And then it coming out later because they were like papped with their boyfriends and everyone was like, oh, it was just a publicity stunt. They're pretending to be together. And that was a huge theme of them like pretending to be lesbians to like sell the like mythology of this song and just like, and people thinking that was so envelope pushing, which I guess it was at the time. Like it was a while ago. And just the significance of that song to be the one kind of playing in the club, I think was really clever.
Yeah, and the fact that then it transitioned to like a club version of the song for then Shane to see Ilya, like, and then heightening that, like the flashes of that scene through Shane taking Rose home to like have sex for the first time. I was like, this is crazy.
Which was wild because they both see each other in the club. They're dancing with other women and they don't say anything to each other. And what we've seen so far is that they see each other, they notice each other, and then they hook up together in the privacy, and this was the first time where they didn't come together at the end.
And it was just like they were both so jealous and so angry, and once again maybe we should have a conversation about our real feelings, but I'm glad they didn't because we got good TV out of it.
So we have Ilya in the shower. And then we have our other two lovers and their sex scene, which I know they keep saying was a disaster, but it didn't look that bad, right?
But also like
with the music and the cutting. An editor can make everything look great.
Yeah, but the whole point, right, was that like he had to imagine Ilya in order to have sex with her. And so like as her, you can imagine it wasn't a great experience.
Yeah, she was probably like,
She was probably like, what's happening here?
Because she like eventually was the one to be like, I know, like you don't like me.
Yeah, I thought that was a beautiful kind of way of it's done because, we had that moment between Rose and Shane. And also the heartbreaking thing is you can tell how, as he says later, how much he wanted to like her like that because he likes her so much as a person. So he's like, oh, here's this person I love talking to that I love spending time with. Because at first when she's introduced, I'm like, oh, she's going to be like a vapid actress. And, you know, it's going to be easy to kind of like cosplay a relationship with her because she'll only care about the fame. But then when it became more than that and they were having an actual relationship, it was harder to hide. So you can see how much like he's desperate to want to be sexually attracted to her, that he's almost talking himself into it. Because I think he's not just trying to be in a relationship with her, you get as a viewer, for the public facing, like he's trying behind the scenes to be in a relationship with her because he's like, maybe I'm not gay, maybe I love this girl and this will be fine and everything, all my problems will like disappear. And then we had that scene of the two of them sitting at the restaurant where she was like, I know you love talking to me and I know you love being around me, but do you like kissing me? And he's like, no. Sad. He really tried. He gave it a good try.
It was a lovely scene, and I just think it was so fucking funny that she was like, that's the best thing any of my gay ex-boyfriends has ever said to me.
It's like, I grew up in theatre.
And which, again, you hear from so many people in theatre that is also a true thing. She's like, I've had so many gay boyfriends, it's fine. Also why she was kind of like news straight away. But then was so much like...
And so also kind and supportive, and like he had no one else who he could talk to about that. So like that was lovely to see.
And I think it's so nice how like along the way there's so many people who find out their secret and are really understanding and lovely about it because, again, we have this threat hanging over their heads, but also it's not... So many movies or TV shows that have a same-sex love story can sometimes only really focus in on the bad parts of it in terms of like being treated horribly and like backlash and people not understanding them and stuff. And so it's also lovely to see this more accepting storyline that a lot of people would have, not everyone obviously, but a lot more people have to say like, you could tell people and it could be fine.
And it's indicative of the time too, right? Because, and also their careers, because all of their male friends for the most part seem to be other hockey players who they can't tell, and yet all of the people who they do tell and who they're supported and like championed by are their female friends. Like for Kip, it's his best friend and his co-worker. Like for Shane, it's obviously Rose. For Ilya, it's Svetlana. Like they all have like these women who are being like, no, like they're a safe place to talk about it and get through it because they don't really have anyone else. They've just got hockey players.
Exactly.
Women.
Hockey players. It's so interesting how like now women are turning to hockey, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's so caught up in this story, in this romance. And I know Rachel Reed said that she kind of based around two hockey players who, from my understanding, never did hook up. I mean, who knows what happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But who had a very intense public rivalry. And she did what a lot of women do in their head when they watch like a story like that play out. She's like, but what if they kissed?
But what if they kissed?
What if they kissed?
Which is what I think a lot of the time when I see people interacting in public and having a fight, I'm like, but what if they kissed?
Asking the
so-
brave questions.
And so that's what
Yeah.
we kind of led to her like writing this story, which almost reads like fan fiction, but obviously is not. And now you see women so kind of hungry to be in this world that like women have started like watching hockey and turning up at hockey games and stuff like that. Is that right? Or am I just imagining that from what
My
I've seen on
TikTok
TikTok?
is full of women at hockey games, and the caption's always like, "But when did they kiss?"
Yeah.
And there's all these women going and calling it the boy aquarium, which
It's so
silly.
true.
And I've seen fans going, again, because their outfits are the same colours. Like girls have gotten like Ilya Rozanov jerseys and shown up to Boston Bruins games.
That's
so
the best
funny.
thing anyone has ever done.
That's
And
so
I
funny.
love those women.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 no notes.
It's
so
also inadvertently
silly.
taking the piss out.
It's so funny.
You know, the hockey players looking and being like, wow, the stands are just full of groups of women.
Yeah.
But there's-
And they're all like, kiss,
Yeah.
kiss, kiss.
I mean, it's a win-win. Like, they're getting fans,
Yeah.
they're making money,
Yeah.
and we're having a
exactly.
good time.
Yeah.
And I've seen a few like wags of actual players on TikTok have started posting really just like not stuff to do with Heated Rivalry, but very funny stuff about their husbands. And it'll be like him skating on the ice, and the caption will be like, I wonder if he knows he has to fake tan my back when he gets home. Like just stupid stuff. But like hockey wags weren't really something on my For You page
Yeah, me
previously.
neither.
And now
They're like,
it's
now's our time.
Now's our time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very much giving the vibe of when Taylor and Travis started dating, and we were like, all right, I guess I care about the NFL now.
Yeah, and all of a
Jesus.
sudden everyone knew about NFL and like who was in the Super Bowl and who was in the playoffs and who the
Yeah.
players were.
Yeah,
And
we weren't just watching the concert.
No, exactly. And now that's, I mean, I haven't been this invested in ice hockey since Mighty Ducks.
No. and what a film, may we say.
What a film, exactly.
Yeah.
And they only had a boy and girl kiss in that. And So,
Yeah.
I mean, if like,
Yeah, boring.
every time, yeah, exactly. And so now they did bring the Mighty Ducks back as adults, and I'm like, well, now what if they kiss?
What if
you
they
know,
kiss?
like,
What
it's
if
all I care
everyone
about.
kissed?
Everyone just
Yeah.
needs a kiss.
Yeah, I feel like ice hockey is now on the radar in
Yeah.
a way it just definitely wasn't before. Do we have ice hockey in Australia? Someone tell us.
We
We
do,
do.
and I've actually seen that there's like a growing LGBTQ plus league of hockey players in
I
like
love
Melbourne
that.
and Sydney and stuff, I think. Like, I'm not entirely sure what cities they're in, but
Yeah.
I know that there's like a growing league for gay players, which is so
Yes.
cool.
Oh my God. Exactly.
We should
Yeah.
all go to a game.
We
Yes.
should.
My
100%.
parents really like ice hockey. They've been to a few games.
Oh, they can take us.
We can go with them. That'd be so fun.
Well, we don't see a lot of hockey in the show, but a very pivotal moment that happens on the ice. Well, first of all, we have Shane and Ilya making plans to meet while on the ice.
Yeah.
Which I was just like,
Dangerous.
I was so nervous for them. I'm like, guys, right there?
Whisper at least.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is obviously after the passing of Ilya's father, and there's like, you know, that he's feeling very emotional and everything that's happening with Shane. So it's a very heightened moment. And then Shane gets hurt, and their cover almost gets blown because Ilya can't hide his feelings for him.
But once again, the commentators
They're
are like,
That's
"Oh,
just good sportsmanship.
That's good sportsmanship right there. See,
Yeah.
even though they're rivals, he does care for him. And it's like, they're in love, you idiots.
Yeah, but also if it's someone you've been playing against for years, everyone knew that, like, yes, you have a rivalry, but like got knocked to the ground, he looks like he was killed. You would just be like, is he okay? But also it's the way that Ilya was like circling. And like and he's often been the one who's like careful.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was about to blow his cover, and
Yeah.
also as they're taking Shane out, and he's like saying like, Ilya will be worried, tell him, and then you had that fear of like what's going to happen. Em looks so stressed
Yeah,
right
it
now.
was
And the
so
fear when
stressful.
Shane was high in the hospital, like
When
Ilya
he was
being
high in
like,
the hospital, and he was like, "Hey."
will you come to my cottage?
So good.
So good, but you would be terrified. You're like, that's my high closeted boyfriend, and he could fuck both of our lives up real bad right now.
Exactly, but also again showing that's the real. I think that
The
did,
stakes.
This again, the injury did move their relationship on a little bit because it kind of gave Ilya this moment of like, oh, I really care about him because I'm so worried. All right, are we ready to move on to the final stage of their romance,
no.
aka the cottage? You don't want to talk about the
I want
cottage?
to talk about this forever.
Yeah, I know.
We're almost ready, but there's one thing we have to talk about, which is that, like, yes, Shane's accident happens and there's like an invite to the cottage extended. It doesn't actually seem like Ilya was going to take it until they see, Scott and Kip being like loud and out and proud. But something that does happen before that is Ilya tells Shane he loves him just in Russian.
Oh my God, that was the mic drop moment I was waiting for, because when you grow up on rom-coms, there's always that big declaration of love. And sometimes it's not heard. Sometimes someone gets told where they're asleep or in a coma or something like that. And so it did have those kind of like old school rom-com vibes. Yeah. But that was the I love you mic drop I was waiting for.
And it was so just beautiful of like Shane to be like, okay, well, if you want to tell me how you feel, just say it in Russian and I'll listen and I'll be here. Beautiful, tears immediately. Yeah. But also it was like that coming around moment, or one of the ones he might have later reflected on, Ilya, of like, well, now my dad's dead and I've just got my shitty blackmailing brother. And like his whole thing about not being able to come out was like his line of like, no, of Russia. Like I cannot go back to Russia if I come out as dead. So that was his whole thing. But then once his dad had died and he didn't really have anything left there for him, and he delivered this whole monologue about how shitty it was and all he loved was Shane, it was probably like the starts of a moment of realization for him that like he could want this life with him and have it with him now.
And you could hear also like the relief in his voice of getting this off his chest, even though Shane can't understand what he says. And Shane at the end is like, did that help?
Yeah. He goes, did that help? Maybe I'll learn Russian one day.
It's so hard because it's the only time that we really have as an audience this big seek from Shane. Everyone's like screaming at the TV like, he loves you.
He
but
loves
you,
you idiot. You don't know. Do you think Shane knew though? I know he couldn't understand it, but do you think he kind of got the vibe?
I don't think he got the vibe of him saying I love you, but I think he got the vibe of he has opened up to me in a way I don't fully get. Yeah, even though I can't understand it, he's opened up to me in a new way, because you could just feel the heartbreak and tension and relief in his voice, even if he didn't know what he was saying.
Or even just like a silly thing, right? Because I feel like if we go all the way back to the beginnings of the relationship, if Shane had said something to Ilya in the sense of like, just tell me in Russian, Ilya would have been like, that's so dumb. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah,
and the fact that he did that, I think Shane was like, oh, okay, he needed that.
He needed that. He needed
me. And he listened to me.
Yeah.
Oh,
beautiful.
Wow. So that takes us to the cottage, which the stakes could not be higher.
Beautiful cottage. Firstly, amazing.
Oh, the architecture.
Great architect.
With its own well and fireplace.
So nice.
Its own well.
Huge. The water tastes great. I was like soaking every moment.
It's a well of just ginger beer.
I do love that he arrived in that like slutty little tank top. And his backwards little hat and his sunglasses, and they're like, did anyone notice you? And it's like, this is Canada, the hockey capital of the world, and you're telling me no one noticed one of the biggest players arriving in the airport? Like, it doesn't matter. Who cares? But it was just so funny. Did anyone notice you? No. Sure. Okay. Whatever.
Feels
carry
on. Yes. And also that kind of like, you get into the car and you're like, are they going to make out straight away? And then it's almost like this polite kind of, like, this hello. Like polite.
Yeah, like he was this Uber driver.
Yeah. He's like, should we stop for lunch? I brought groceries. There's plenty of food. But also, again, like this is the first time they're actually getting to be together outside of like the hotel room secrets and the secret texting and like the whispers on the ice and everything.
And the last time they saw each other was that big convo where Shane was like, I think I'm gay, and Ilya just laughed at him. But they had that really intimate moment where they hugged, like there was like beauty, then there was the accident on the ice. Now we're here. It's been a minute, you know, they're like settling back.
I feel like that was normal. So good. Like I feel like if they just started pashing in the car and everything was fine.
And they're just doing relationshipy things like cooking a barbecue. Just like going on walks.
It's like their first time they're in a proper relationship. Like they've never had that before. I could have stayed in that cottage with them.
I want to be there
forever. And them cooking the hamburgers and them having their hookups on the couch and them talking about the wolf birds living in the woods and them swimming in the lake. Like it was all so perfect and romantic and so earned. And I was almost like, can we just stay here forever?
I loved the mirroring as well of like the very first time they hooked up. Again, my shout outs to TikTok fan editors who should have their own category at the Oscars.
But they should.
They were like,
to be fair, that's probably not that far off.
They were like splicing together like frames to show how much it had like duplicated that scene of their very first hookup where Ilya kind of pushes him against the wall. It was the same in the cottage when they first kissed again and like had sex. Like it was the same imagery being shown over and over again. And I was like, but it's showing how much more romantic and like comfortable they were with each other now. I was like, good job, guys. Well done.
Yeah, because at first you just like the first episode, like I felt zero romance between them. I felt like sexual chemistry, but I was like, I would 100% believe that these guys would just hook up and then not have to talk to each other again. Like it had that vibe. And then the energy at the end, again, it's been many years and they've been through so much, but you really feel that. Like
it was so different.
The shift in their chemistry is like such a testament to like their acting and the production of it and everything that you kind of feel like you've lived this moment with them. so good. I just wanted to stay there forever.
I would have loved to stay there forever. It would have been so nice.
But then, of course, they come in from the lake.
Oh my God, his dad.
To have their hot dogs, not the leftovers, to have the fresh hot dogs. And then his dad is there.
I was like,
I mean, out of all the things his dad could walk into,
better than anything else.
At least it was, just a kiss.
At least it was just a little butt tap and a kiss. But my God, like I had like both hands over my mouth. I was standing up in my living room like I was stressed.
I know. I spent a lot of the show standing up. It's like, this is not a sitting down
I
show.
was like pacing my apartment. I was like, oh no.
and then why would he run away?
Well, I think he just the awkwardness of wanting to like.
I think he just felt like an intruded, right?
Yeah, because obviously he just wandered into his son's house thinking that he was just picking up something, seeing not just this verification that his son was gay, at least that's probably what he was thinking in that moment, but also seeing him with someone who he assumed was his sworn enemy for the last 10 years. Just the shock of that. And then them having to get in the car together, and then him Ilya wearing his hockey shirt, and him being like, "Do you have to wear that?" And he's like, "Do you not think they know where I play for?"
And Shane's wearing like a full button down.
Yeah. They both really dressed for the occasion, and they obviously did not talk before they got dressed about what the vibe was going to be.
Yeah.
And then they get to the parents' house, and this is the tension here is because he's so close to his parents. And it's the first time they've had to sort of go through something like this.
And it'd be hard
context.
too and heartbreaking because he had just decided, okay, I'm going to come out to them. I know what I want to do, and he had a plan in his mind.
Yeah.
And then obviously that got cooked. So then he's like, well, I guess I better do it now and also tell them I'm with you, and the stakes are so much higher.
Yeah, exactly.
And also Ilya is so relaxed. Like he's eating the pasta he's having. And I think that's also because he never had what Shane had, which are supportive parents, like throughout his whole life. Like his mother tragically died. And I think even in the Russian monologue, he said like that was the only person who I loved.
Yeah.
And I think like deep down he knew it would be fine because he knows Shane's parents.
Yeah.
So in that like whole scene, he was the only one who was like so chilled out.
Well, he was also probably like, this is going great because his family is like, as he said, like awful. And he had that terrible relationship with his brother and no one else to tell. So he's probably like, we're all sitting here talking. No one's yelling. Everyone's like, no one's storming out. Like he's probably like, this is great.
This bolognese is
could
amazing.
not have gone better.
Yeah. I also just loved the lovers bit.
Yeah.
Where he's like, and then Ilya interjects and goes, lovers. And he's like, no, that's gross.
No, that's gross.
He's trying so hard to help. And he really is just like happy to be there. You're right. He just seems chill and happy and like fine with whatever happens.
Yeah.
And also like the parents like kind of almost flipping back into like that idea, like even if you tell your parents something huge, they still flip back into the people they were with his dad, like trying to piece it together and be supportive. And his mum goes into business mode.
Yeah, she's the Kris Jenner of gay hockey romance.
100%.
Yeah.
Which in a way I actually thought was really touching because she was just like, oh, no, this is what we do now. And I'm going to look after you the same way. And like, this is fine. And like, here's how we can make money. And here's how we can like tell the right people. And here's how we can protect you. Like she just went into momager mode because that's what she knows.
Yeah.
That's how she knows to be supportive. So she just reverted back to that. And it was probably the most comforting thing. Obviously they went outside and had the tears.
Yeah.
And
I think it like sunk in after that. Like when she went to take the plates, like you could see Christina Chang, amazing actor. Because you could also see like in her eyes, like her realizing what's been going on, and then you see that end scene of her going, I can't believe you didn't like feel like you could have told me.
Yeah. And I think that scene also was really good. There were a couple of scenes in this episode in particular at portraying like the fact that Shane is on the spectrum and has autism, because it's never something they say outright in the show, but it's something they wanted to make sure they brought to screen. And like when he can't make eye contact with her in that conversation, when he has the sort of freak out at the table and Ilya has to be like, your boyfriend is here, your family is here, everyone loves you. Like they just did little small things that also showed how he would be processing this like life altering moment that he was forced into when he wasn't ready. Yeah, I think they just did a really great job of showing that.
Yeah, exactly. And then we had that moment of the two of them driving away from the cottage. And the
kind of credits
and the intimacy, and it's also like to finish the season, leave you feeling satisfied, but also so hungry for more. I was like, I cannot believe there is not a second season right now. I know they're making
I'm like,
it.
we've been through all of this. I just want to see them happy.
I just want to see the next stage of the story. So at least we know they're working on season 2 now. We're getting it, and obviously there's going to be like harder stakes for them now that they are. It's almost like less safe now for them. They are in this committed, loving relationship, how they're going to navigate their profession and the publicity and everything around it. And
Jacob's confirmed like it's going to be them. They're going to stay the main characters, because people were wondering, is season 2 going to be like the other characters and is it going to change like how Bridgerton does? No, it's Ilya and Shane's story all the way through, but they'll bring in the other people. And
that's good. Yeah,
like the Scott and Kip episode. They'll bring them all
I would
in
feel really cheated. I know Bridgerton does it well, but it's kind of different because like they all end on this happy like, and now we're married
and now we're done.
Whereas these guys, it's ending on, and now we have all these huge other obstacles, and we're finally openly in love. Like it wouldn't have felt like a satisfying ending if they had ended there, and then the next season was about a different character from the book series. No, I would not be having that. So season 2, hopefully coming out at the end of this year.
Hopefully, they're looking at 2027, which devastates me. But you know what? I think the fan fever, the level of fame this has reached, the attention, like I think they're going to hustle. They filmed the last one in 36 days.
Yeah,
exactly. Now they've got way more money, hopefully, with all the international rights and everything.
Yeah,
we'll get that ball rolling. But yeah, Heated Rivalry.
So good.
What a joy.
What a bloody show.
Never be the same.